Hi Harisha, good evening. Am I audible? Can you text everyone in the group to attend the class? Okay, thank you. Are you there in the class group? WhatsApp group? Okay, fine. We'll wait for 2 minutes and we'll start the session. Yeah, I think after your classes. That I don't have any idea. See the website. Okay. Are you attended the last session, Arishma? Previous class. Fine, now we are going to discuss about, I'll start the session. Now we are going to discuss about the implicit personality traits. In earlier class, we discussed about the impression formation, how one can form the impression. In social psychology, how it examines and how to do self-presentation, how to impress others. and even the mental presentation of a person and our reactions towards the person. These are the things we discussed. In impression formation, we even see the visual channels like the way we distance. Mr. Paxson's Secrecy 1978. They said, who wants to see friendly, small choose, and they choose the smaller distance. Okay, and what kind of gestures people will do to form an impression on others. These things we discussed, like eye contact, gesture, facial expressions, roles, physical cues, silence, and all other things. Okay, these kind of questions they may ask you in the exam. What is impression formation, and how impression can be formed through nonverbal causes, nonverbal cues. Now we are going to discuss about the implicit personality traits. See, whenever we are discussing about the impression formation and personality traits, see, everyone is an individual, unique, and they do have their own individual interference. And whenever they have that kind of information, they this compromises a set of unstated assumptions about what personality traits will tend to together. See, whenever we are forming the impression, we'll see ourselves what kind of impression we want to form another person. At the same time, we will imbibe few characteristics. It's called personality traits. Means our impressions of others are often shaped by these beliefs. Suppose one person wants to become like an actor. So most of the time he will implicate, or else he is going to impress others with the gestures of the actor. Suppose he is observing like he wants to become a scientist. So whenever he is forming his personality traits, most of his characteristics will be like that person. Here, what they will do depends on their beliefs. Their actual traits will be there. Sometimes we completely depend upon the personality trait inferences about what the person is like more than an observable information, like behavior, appearance, and gesture. And not only that, even your body language. Okay, yeah, it comes under behavior, but sometimes, yeah, definitely people will go ahead with what kind of dresses those people will wear and their style they manage and what kind of books they are reading. Yes, definitely they get into that. We learn someone has a warm personality. See, whenever we are coming back to the personality traits, few people they're very cold, they don't react for anything. Few people they are very warm, few people they are very friendly. See, whenever you call them, definitely they will have their own helping hand towards you. Okay, few people are very pessimistic. If you want to talk to them, if you are saying something also, immediately they will say something negative about that. These kind of people completely pessimistic. Few people they don't even know how to do humor, how to make humor, how to react towards the humor also. Okay, this kind of people are called humorless, and few people they are most of the time irritable. Okay, few people they are not at all unpopular. Even if you are seeing their home front also, they don't care. No one cares there. They're like a blanket kind of thing. Wherever if you're keeping blanket one way, yeah, most of the time it's like that only. So excuse me, it's completely person to person it differs. Your personality traits completely depend on your own belief system. At the same time, the way you are imbibing the characteristics or traits from others, and what kind of traits you are implying each other. Okay, these are the personality traits of the person. The way they behave, the way they react, these are things will come into the picture. Next, Mr. Ask research on the central and peripheral traits. What is this? How he has done. See, this is a trait centrality. What is this? In Nash 1946, he applied the principles of Gestalt to understand impression formation. See, sometimes if you want to be in good books of others, Okay, you will try to be very soft with others. At the same time, you observe other people. You will try to be in good. You always try to show your intelligence or skills. You will try to impress others. Suppose if the person is into industrious, okay, he will show his skills. And if the person is in intelligence, yes, definitely. See here, this person assessed some subjects like traits towards an individual who was an intelligent, skillful, industrious, warm, determined, practical, and cautious. And other subjects, impressions towards an individual who was intelligent and skillful, industrious, cold, determined, okay, these are the impressions people will form. Suppose even in your class, if you're finding okay, he's a nice person. Okay, we will try to get connect with the person. Why immediately? Because his intelligence is making a role here. It's playing a role. So we will try to get connect with the person. We will try to understand and what kind of knowledge he have. Whenever we have a chance, immediately we will interact. Suppose whenever you are preparing for your exam, immediately you can contact the intelligent person. Suppose if the person is industrious, if you need any help, yeah, immediately you will get in touch with the person. So Mr. Ash told like on central and peripheral traits. See, these are the person's traits. Suppose you met a person, he is an artist, very good artist. Okay, whenever you are interested in to learn painting, or if one of your cousin or anybody is interested, immediately you will remember the person, you will try to get in touch with. Why? Because his personality trait is making you to impress. So these are the reasons to get in touch with the person. Interpretation of a trait depends upon its accompanying traits, and some traits are perceived to central. Few people, what they do, whose presence or absence does not imply may other characteristics. Suppose sometimes if people are there, they don't have any kind of a trait, they don't have any kind of what do you call passion towards the life or any important traits. Immediately we will ignore the person. I mean, see, if the person presence is there also, no, we don't mind. We don't even acknowledge. So these things will happen. He characterized in few areas. Categorization. Social categories like gender, race, and social class influence of our perceptions. Suppose if the person he is like into a very good actor, filmy actor in one community, if he is staying, everyone will say, see, in my community, so and so actor stays. So here we are categorizing the person. At the same time, we are acknowledging his social category. It might be gender, it may be a race, it may be a social class. Influence. What kind of influence is he carrying? So we definitely give importance to the person, we'll say. Even sometimes, whenever we are noticing the physical features such as height, weight, facial expressions, these are also special traits. So we will store in our memory in the schema and we'll form one kind of schema on the person. Like so and so person, he have very good looks. This person have tall, very tall. And this, yeah, this girl hair is like noodles. Okay. See, or else she will have very good long hair and black and long hair. These are the traits immediately we will remember. So these are the things we will observe from the person. Okay. Any doubts here? Whenever we are seeing the people, person, things, suppose if the person is very interested towards the knowledge, okay, whenever we are meeting the person, definitely we'll talk to the person, we'll see how exactly he's preparing, what kind of traits he's carrying, and even his personality. Suppose if the person is a sports person, Immediately we'll ask the person how he's behaving, what kind of food he's eating, not only that, where he's practicing, how many hours he's sleeping, what kind of food habits he have. Everything we will understand, we will try to ask the person. Not only that, whenever people are asking any kind of doubts towards the sports, immediately we will recall the person, we'll ask the person what best we can do. Next, schema. Schema refers to knowledge structure consisting of any organized body of stored information. Okay, here, every time we meet this person, the schema of old information is actively come to and new information is added. Then gaps are filled by means of a prior knowledge. Here, what will happen? This pattern first fit into the different kinds of schemata. What kind of schemata? First one is person schemata. In person schemata, we will describe only we will remember the cognitive structure. Okay, cognitive structures means the personality of the person, like specific individual. Suppose if you are describing about like your family friends, your neighborhood, okay, or else if the person is extrovert or introvert, these are the individual traits will come into the picture in person schemata. Means here we will remember the only the personal things, whether the person is extrovert or he is a paranoid. Okay, these things will come into the picture. Here we will see only the person schemas help us to develop the expectation about their behavior. Suppose if the person is a dancer. Okay, here whenever you are seeing a person, whenever you are recalling from your group or neighborhood, the dancer, immediately what will remember? Okay, you will remember neighborhood person. Hey, he's a very good dancer. We can take tips from the person. Immediately we will call the person schemata. And next thing, role. What is the role? This structure will form occupants of a particular role, like doctors, or policeman, or lawyer. See, suppose whenever you need some kind of help, immediately you look into the role of the schemata. Suppose if you have 10 friends, okay, whose daddy is a doctor. If you need some help, immediately you will recall the person. How you are remembering, how you are recollecting the person, because it is role. In schema, we have the person role, at the same time rules. Role for the schemata means the way the person is working, defined on his characteristics, categorized in our mind. Next to scripts. In social context, schemas not only encode information about the different sorts of people or groups. In 2008, Mr. Hogan Wagon, he denies scripts as a schemas about events. See, whenever, suppose if you are attended a dance program, or else in a classroom atmosphere, you attended one exam, or else one very good player came to you, international player came to your college. Immediately, what you remember here, you remember the complete script. Okay, that's what Mr. Hogan Wagon explained in 2008. Scriptures, schemas about events. Here we don't remember anything. We will remember the only the event part. Hey, so and so player, he came to our college, our classroom on so and so year. We know him. We met him. That means here the social situation completely you are remembering as a script. So some not only that, whenever people are into low moods, okay, immediately they will remember the what do you call the situation, the whole script. Oh, so and so time he did so and so thing. That means he will recall the script. Okay, here sometimes it may get him into the frustration. Sometimes, suppose if you are remembering the positive events, yeah, definitely you will establish a very good positive script, and you will try to acknowledge the person, and you will try to recall the whole scenario, and you will tell him, hey, I met so and so day, and so you attended so and so school party, or else school event. So we met there. So you will try to acknowledge the situation, and you will try to establish the relation based on the previous event. So that is comes under script. Next, prototype. This prototype is like a fairly fuzzy and it defined set of images we have of people belonging in a particular category. Whenever we are talking about the category, okay, whenever we are seeing the prototype, our immediate memory will get into like what kind of a category these people belongs to. Okay, suppose if you are looking at a politician, okay, immediately we remember, hey, so and so person is a politician. So based on the prototype, suppose one of your uncle come to your home, okay, he might be very good politician. You know him by seeing the vehicle or else seeing the policeman. Immediately you'll say, hey, these are the prototypes. Not only that, whenever you're seeing the doctor's cars, they have a plus symbol. Okay, by seeing that, you will recognize him, so and so person is a doctor. Even the politicians, they will come with their own, what do you call, the flag or something. They will reflect something. So these are the prototypes. Not only that, lawyers also, they do have some protocols. So they will put the sticker on their cars. Yeah, by seeing that we can recognize the person, so and so person belongs to so and so prototype. So based on the prototypes also, we will remember the person. Next one, exemplar. Once people become more familiar with a particular category, it represents their prototypical representation. On this, Mr. Jude and Park, 1988, he suggested in groups, okay, what you observe from the people, what kind of a prototypes you are observing. It completely depends on the group of which the observer is not a member. Suppose you belong to one group, immediately some other person joined. Immediately people will say, hey, these are the group people belongs to so and so group. Here they will say we are an exemplar of that. Okay. Even in the schemata prototypes, exemplars are all part of the network. See, even in social media nowadays, people forming a group. This is lawyers group, this is psychologist group, this is students group from so and so college. Here, what they are doing, they are representing the mental representation of the world based upon the memory. See, here what they're saying, we are psychologist groups. Okay, all are doctors. Here, what they're mentioning, schemata they're mentioning, prototypes they're mentioning. This is a called exemplar. That means all part of the network of mental representation of the world. See, few people they will say we are artists. They will form a group. See here, completely based on their knowledge, they are forming the group. Means this is a mental representation. So that is called exemplar. Next one, stereotype. I think stereotype, by seeing the stereotype word, we can understand. We all have preconceived ideas about groups of people called stereotypes. Means which influence of our first impression. Actually, this was done by Mr. Lippmann in 1922. He describes stereotype as a pictures in our heads. Actually, how we can form a picture based on the network of social cognition. Suppose if you are seeing one person, he is working as an accountant. Okay, he will say, hey, I belongs to so and so field. Okay, immediately you can understand the person. Oh, okay, fine, stereotype. See, suppose based on his attributes, we already discussed in the previous class what is attributes, how it forms. Not only that, even the belief system of the characteristic of a person and behavior of the members of a particular group also. For example, suppose if you hold a stereotype that people who wear glasses are intelligent. That means whenever you are seeing the people wearing the glass, okay, we'll think that hey, this person he read a lot of books. That's the reason he got glasses. Okay, this is called a stereotype mentality. Not only that, social psychologists believe in the stereotyping is a normal cognitive tendency. It's a kind of cognitive shorthand that simplifies the process of making social judgments. That was done by Mr. Nelson 2002. He mentioned this. Even sometimes, if you are meeting the person in the first time, based on his knowledge, will form a mindset like, hey, he's super intelligent. That means without seeing the air, anything, you formed a mindset picture in your head. He's an intelligent. Why means the way he explained, the way he's getting into the information. or else the way he effectively spoken. Okay, suppose if you attended a public class, any kind of a debate or something, one person he acknowledges his knowledge, he exposes his knowledge more and more. Whenever you are seeing the person, immediately what kind of a picture in your head? He's an intelligent. See, he might be intelligent in the particular topic or else particular subject. He might be very dull or something, and we don't know. But still, in your mind, what picture you have? He's an intelligent person because based on your first impression, this kind of schema is formed. That was Mr. Lippmann said. It's completely tend to the neutral stereotypes. It never ever get into the any kind of negative connotation. People will say that, oh my God, I'm very intelligent. Okay, he's very intelligent. Why means not only intelligent. Sometimes what will happen based on the marks. Okay, we don't know how he got that kind of marks and all. Immediately we'll say that, oh, okay, so and so subject the person is intelligent. He got marks in all subjects. So he is a very intelligent fine. So we will name him as an intelligent person. This is a stereotype. Suppose suddenly if he gets less score also, we don't accept him. We will think what happened to we don't even say what happened to the person, what happened to the lecturer, why he didn't correct the marks. See, the other way around people think. Why? That's what Mr. Lippmann said. Picture in your heads, it describes the stereotypic mindset. Most of the time, people will fall for it. Suppose, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Most of the time, the stereotypic mindset will even it forms in the social media. Suppose if the picture released, that picture becomes flop. So someone will say actor, heroine, hero, heroine, will give the credit to them. Okay, immediately we will call that the person if the girl is acted first time, even the hero also acted for the first time. Immediately we don't even focus on the picturization or story or anything. What picture will form in our heads? Okay, iron like or something like that. See, this is called stereotype mindset. That means here we are evaluating the picture success. We are not even checking on the story of the movie or script of that or music, anything. Here we are giving a tag to the person. This is called stereotype mindset. Okay, even Dex and Lewis in 1988, 83, they studied on stereotypes, even on men and women. These people also formed. Stereotype is a being independent and competitive. When compared to men, women as warm and emotional. Okay, this is what stereotype mindset, how it really works on the people. Next is we are going to discuss about the continuum model of impression formation. How can we form an impression on others? Okay, one the other way stereotypical and categorized based impression. Here what we'll do, the individual impression completely based on about the particular behaviors. Suppose if you are seeing one person, he is helping everyone in the society. Immediately what we'll call him, hey, this person is very friendly. Okay, he always help others. Here what we are doing, we are categorizing based on his individual impression. What kind of impression we formed on that particular person based on the behavior. What is his behavior? He is trying to help each and every person. So here, based on his helping nature, we are forming him. Sometimes, yeah, even it forms in the sex also. It forms in the like male and female gender or racism. And this kind of impression will form. And when we need to form accurate impression, we need to check what kind of information. Suppose if the person is reacting only towards the social, few people, yeah, I'll tell you, whenever any kind of festival is coming, even in our colonies, in our locality, we can see few people, they take very actively. Okay, few ladies, they will get into the pujas and all. They will collect all the people and they will do it. Even men also, they participate very actively. Immediately, whenever the occasion is coming, here the continuum model of impression. Here, what we'll do immediately, we will call the persons. See, these are the things we are going to continue. What do you say? What do you suggest? Okay, this continuum mode of impression was done by Mr. Frisky and Newberg in 1990. They only explained about this model. They introduced this one, continuum model. So whenever we are seeing this kind of people in our locality, okay, what best they are doing, we will call the person, we will invite the person, we will ask them to take in charge of that whole context. Now, we are going to discuss about the context effects. This is called, we studied as a function, the source of contextual stimuli. Here, what kind of a contextual effects are there in contrast and assimilation? Contrast refers to like a biasing effect on judgment away from the environmental context. Suppose some photographs out there. Okay. They expose very active. Immediately, what will say, hey, this person is very attractive. Okay. Means, see, suppose the photograph is really good, even the lighting and everything is good, but here we'll call them as beautiful. He's a very good photographer. Okay, these pictures are very not that good. Here, what we are doing in context, we will define the person. Mr. Ranke, Bless, and Ego 2001, they explained about that. Attractive depends on the assimilation, refers to the biasing of a judgment in the same direction as a contextual standard. Suppose if you are taking few pictures with the less light, immediately what we'll say, see, here the person, one is the same, depends on the lighting, depends on the what do you call the photographer lenses. The context is changing, but what we'll see, we never ever get into the context of things. We'll say, hey, this is good, this is bad. See, in this, he is less attractive. In so and so picture, he is more attractive. Okay, here, not only that, whenever we started liking someone, immediately we will say, hey, he's beautiful, okay, he's handsome. In this picture, the whole scenario is totally good. Here, what's happening? Because of our favorable ratings also, it affects on the rating. That is called context effect. What context you are seeing? Suppose if you are in a wrong mood with the person, wrong relation, or some disturbed relation with the person, if the person totally good also, immediately you'll say, hey, no, not good. Why? Here what happened? Your attractive your relation, okay, it's affecting on that. Suppose sometimes we'll see the attractive face. Immediately, irrespective of the photograph, irrespective of the situation, we'll say, hey, this person is so good. Here, what you are doing here, you are completely giving your opinion. Your context stimuli is completely on your source of the information, source of the function, your mood, your behavior, your environment. This is one kind of a judgment. Next, we'll go ahead with the, yeah, Mr. Taylor and Pepil and CS in 2003 also. They said social context is informative with respect of impressions. See what kind of impression I formed on so and so X. Based on that, I will give my opinion towards the person. Suppose you got some negative information on your classmate. What you do immediately? Whenever people are asking, you'll say, hey, so and so person is so and so bad. I'm not interested. Why you are forming this kind of opinion on the person? Based on your opinion, based on your what kind of information you have. Not only that, sometimes if you are not giving any kind of importance to the next person, if anyone asking about that person, immediately you will give the negative information of the target individual. But what happened? This is your context. So here most of the time people are judgmental. Next thing, integrating information about others. The process of learning impression is completely rapid and automatic in integrating information. we completely form a information seemingly effortless way. See here, what will happen? This is called a single impression also. Here, new experience with others may form different opinions. But here we already have a perceivers, like, see, we already have some kind of information on that, and we will form our impression completely based on the information on the particular individual. Here we don't even accept the new information or new experience with others. Okay, whatever we have already, the perceived integration information, based on that we apparently give our information on that. See, this is one kind of impression formation about others. Next thing, evaluation. Yeah, most of the times people evaluate. This is one kind of a dimension. Actually, this is very important of a small number of basic dimension. Most of the things this happened with the organizations, even with the colleges. This is an evaluation. See, based on the marks, we will evaluate the person intelligence. Okay, based on the income, we will evaluate the person social status. Not only that, suppose if the person is into very good politician and all, yeah, immediately we'll say, hey, so and so person is very good. So this evaluation impression completely described by Mr. O.S. Good and Susie and Tanny Brown in 1957. They found this information. Next, negative and positive bias. This is very important. See, experimental researchers always says that whatever information produced in a empirical evidence to suggest that people, they will form the positive impression on of others. Okay, actually this was done by Mr. Sears in 1983. However, actually people, what happened if they told anything negative about the other person? Okay, by knowing, if you want to know about that, it might be disappropriate to the person. But here immediately what will happen? It turns into the bad one. Okay, why means here you are giving negative information about the so and so person. Immediately it spreads like a negative only. Sometimes if you started giving a positive impression, okay, it's formed on someone the positive info, like positive impression on the next person. This was done by, they explained by Mr. Hamilton and Jana in 1972. How negative impression works and the positive, how this bias goes. See, whenever we are going back to the impression formation, negative and positive is completely empirical evidence. Okay, here we don't have any kind of we are not going and taking the information from the person. It might be disappropriate. It completely depends on the person perceiving skills of the next opposite person. Suppose from his point of view that person might be negative, but here we don't even think about that. We'll think, hey, this person is also negative. By what base he revealed that information? That's what Mr. Fiske in 1988 explained. Sometimes it may turn into a good impression or it may turn into a bad one. We never know. Okay. Next, most important thing, first impression. Actually, even in the psychology thing, even in the social psychologist, they will say this is called primacy effect. Okay, the first time, suppose if you are meeting a person, someone, whatever the information you formed, it will stay long. Okay, this one was explained by Mr. Lorenzo et al. 2010 and Mr. McCrae Qualified in 2010. Most of the first impressions people form, they will give very good importance. Okay, here we will give a lot of weightage towards that. Whatever the initial information we had, it might be very what you call too early to form the information. No, but still it stays a long time. And suppose if the person wants to change things also, it takes a lot of time. Based on the first impression, will play a role in towards the person. Suppose if you saw one, if you met your friend in a class, okay, he tried to help you. The day itself, you will fix, okay, so and so person is my best friend. I met this guy on my first day of my college or my first day of school. Or else suppose if you met one person, okay, he established himself as an intelligent. Okay, immediately you will think, oh, this guy is very intelligent. That was your first impression on so and so X. So it stands for a long time. Not only that, that's the reason people always say first impression is the best impression. Next, we'll go ahead with the averaging principle. What is this? See, impression formation can be understood in terms of basic cognitive process, or else it may be like a pay and equal attention to all kinds of information, whatever you are perceiving from the other person. It might be completely focused on the certain kinds like impression, or else whatever the information you are getting into your mind, like whatever cognitive thing you are taking from the next person. Based on the information you will calculate, you will come to an average. Okay, fine, I thought that he is intelligent. In the next time he got less marks, in the next time he got much more less marks. So based on the thing like a cognitive prospect, you will calculate so and so person is into average. So whatever you do, whatever kind of information you formed, in by all means again you do the average, and you will calculate like this. Okay, fine, I thought that this person is too intelligent. No, because his behavior, because his what kind of schemas he is presenting in his life, what kind of observation you have, and what kind of information you got it from the next person, you will put together whatever the information you have. Based on the thinking, based on that, you will form an average information. So this is called averaging principle. See here, what you are doing, you are changing your impression. Immediately, by seeing the first impression, you thought that, oh, he's intelligent. After knowing the person, you found, okay, fine, he's not that intelligent. He's okay, average. What you're doing here, your calculation, you are making it as an average. Now we'll go back to the experience. What kind of a experience will give you in a impression formation? Here, the nature of a impression shifts as we gain increasing experience with others. Suppose if you are staying with the person for a long time, you can understand his behavior, you can understand his traits, you can understand his knowledge, even you can see his mental abstractions. Based on your personal experience, based on your repeated observation on the person. Yeah, definitely you will come to an understand of the person. Here, after that, you will form an impression. This is called experience with the person. Experience impression. See, suppose we can take this example. You know one person, okay? He's your classmate. You are observing the person from past 2 years. He always scores very nice marks. He's the best even in the what do you call the documentation work, any kind of work. But suddenly he started getting less marks. Immediately, what will say? Hey, he won't do like that. Something went wrong with him. Let me check with that guy. What happening here? Immediately you are showing some interest towards the person. Why you are saying, why instead of getting response, you are not even asking, calling him as an he's not intelligent. You are telling, based on my behavior, I know the guy, so let me talk to the guy. By means your experience is telling you about that guy, he's very intelligent person, because you have a concrete example, that is 2 years of your experience. So here people will form impression based on their experience. Next, motives. What is motive? Okay. Motives largely influence of our impressions. Suppose if you are motivated to become more accurate, we definitely focus on the individual traits. Okay, like goals, feelings, or what we already discussed. Like suppose if you want to be like be a sports person. If anyone is there in your community, very good sports person, immediately you'll go and talk to the person. You try to get more information because your motive and his motive is same. Here, because of their individual own goals, they will completely get motivated. They will try to impress each other. This is called outcome dependency. See here, what is your goal? To become a very good sports person. So you meet the sports person who are into the same kind of sports. So here, what is the outcome dependency? Both you want to help with each other to become very good sportsman. So here completely your goal and your behavior based on this. So this is called motive impression. The next one is perceives cognitive and emotional states. Sometimes what happens, our cognitive and emotional states also influence our impressions. Usually what we'll do, our attention on the other person is completely their behavior. Okay, or else on what kind of impression there we do have on our own mind. So this plays a role. Suppose whenever you are unable to focus on one person, immediately what we do, whom we are forming impression, if you are preoccupied with something. Suppose you are into some other work. Okay, someone came and tried to help you out. Okay, you are not at all interested to interact with the person. Here, what's your expectation? Here, you are expecting like, I want to be with myself. Let me complete this work. But if the other person is completely understood your importance of the work, okay, without interacting you, he started helping you. So here, what you are doing, the perceiver, cognitive and emotional states, without asking his help, he is interacting with you and he is trying to help you. See, sometimes when the people are into the less emotional state, like sad mode and all, without asking anything, they will try to pamper the next person. So here, what they are doing, they're doing magic on the next person by seeing their what you call the facial expression, the way we discussed in the previous class. Okay, or is their or emotional thinking. The persons they will understand and they will try to cope up the next person. This is an extremely good manner. So Mr. Stronger 1990 he said more extreme manner then we are aroused. We tend to perceive other people. So here, without asking them, we are aroused and we are trying to help the next person. Okay, we are trying to pacify the next person. So here, what we are doing help to the person without by asking them. Here, people will form a very good positive impression of the next person. Okay, they'll be delighted. Not only that, whenever they're in a bad mood, if someone is seriously helping them, definitely they have the positive opinion on the next person. This was done by Mr. Gasper and Clory 2000. They did a research. They said that perceived cognitive and emotional state is very important. And impression as a self-fulfilling prophecies. See here, people are not just passive recipients of information. Sometimes what they do, they change their extent to which the schemas are supported. Actually, this was this study and this one explained by Mr. Rostam and Jacobson in 1968. Even the Simpson et al. 2011. These people studied on that, and they are telling like this is a self-fulfilling thing, and always it suggests that create your own realities through our expectations. Suppose whenever you are behaving with others, okay, it reflects your impression on them. Suppose if you ignore someone because we think that he is in dull mood or he or she, see here immediately what you will do, you will withdraw from that person. Okay, you stop talking to the next person. Why means you don't, he needs some privacy time. Like he needs his some me time or own time. So, so here you are giving importance to the next person. Okay, because it whenever you are talking or whenever you are doing something, if the person is not liking, here you in himself you withdraw. So here what will happen? It's like a great impressions become self-fulfilling prophecies. Here the person is not asking you, but you are understanding the person you are behaving towards. Here they will like you and they will respect you a lot. Why means this is a passive thing, but still people will appreciate you. This is when compared to all other things, this is a very good self-fulfilling prophecy. This is called behavioral confirmation also. Actually, whenever we are doing this, we need to have a lot of knowledge, not knowledge, not lot of concern towards the person. This is a very good tool in social interaction. See, if the person is in happy mode, yeah, we can talk anything. If the person is very dull mode, if we started joking on other things, no, they may not liking that. So here, whenever we are talking to the target individual, whenever you want to form an impression, we need to consider all the things. So yes, guys, this is all about the information on how best we can do. Next class, we'll discuss about the impression management. Okay. Chalo then bye. Take care. See you in the next class. Okay, Arisha. Okay, bye. Thank you.